Hey everyone, I'm your host, Emily Lauren. Welcome to the Body Positive Podcast, where we ditch diets, normalize real bodies, and help you feel better in your own skin.
Welcome everyone to the Body Positive Podcast Show. Today we have Laurie Brucker Amerikaner here with us to talk about body image and her experience in the fashion industry. She has spent decades ensuring that women feel and look their best, has been named one of LA's top personal stylists, and most recently has authored a book called You Are Your Style. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me about what inspired you to get involved in the fashion industry in the first place.
Oh, it's such a good question because I originally did not know I loved fashion the way I did until I went to college for theater, because I was like a full musical theater. Give me a stage, give me a song, give me a dance act. I'm good to go. And then I went for like theater. I went to Indiana University and I realized I'm just like not good at theater, like Shakespeare and the plays. I'm like, I want to sing and dance. And I definitely realized I was kind of on the wrong path. And I, without realizing how impactful it would be, was kind of just searching for another avenue to be an outlet for me. And there was a fashion merchandising program and I was like, oh, I like clothes. And then I moved into fashion merchandising and I started on this incredible, now 2-decade career path in the fashion industry. And it's funny because even in kind of really reflecting back on my personal story as I was writing my book, I have been so aware of style, fashion, and self-expression from the very beginning of my story as a human. I've always been so aware. Yeah. And I think I've always been so, and especially as I was in college learning how to just express myself in terms of like standing out to be different, because I never felt like I fit in with anybody. Yes. And really exploring my style sense in a really interesting, practical way. And then, moving into becoming a fashion designer because I wanted to teach that to others. And then from there, moving into image consulting after a career as a fashion designer to really teach women how to do this at home.
I love that.
Self-express.
I love that. Well, you have lots of experience. So I want to ask you, do you think that if you look good, you will feel good? Or is it the other way around, or a bit of both?
Oh, that's such a great question. I would say it's a little bit of both. And I think that they play into each other. Like, it's definitely like a chicken or the egg kind of thing. Because when you look good and you see it in the mirror, because ultimately you have to see it in the mirror. So like you put on something and it looks good to yourself. So now you're feeling good. Now, when you feel good, it makes that outfit that you're wearing, whatever it may be, just radiate even stronger for you. So they're tied in together that way. If you're feeling good, and let's go the opposite way. If you're feeling good and you are just like rocking a muumuu, because that is what you are owning today. Yeah. That in itself makes whatever it is that you're wearing, like you're owning it because you feel good. So it makes that outfit shine. And then someone compliments you because they're like, what's different today? And then you feel even better. So they like play off each other, like on both sides.
I think that's so important. I love that perspective. Why do you think it's important to dress the body you have now and not the body you think you need or want?
Oh, these are such brilliant questions. Thank you for asking this, because so many, in all the years I've been working, so many women really, societally, we have been taught that, our bodies need to be or look a particular way to be accepted or loved or lovable. And that has just affected so much of how we see ourselves in the mirror. And when you get dressed to flatter the figure you have right now, to feel good right now, it's not necessarily about because flattering the figure is better or gonna make you more lovable. It's more about you looking in the mirror and seeing how beautiful and magnificent your body is right now. And a lot of times, because we have all this ingrained and whether it's like family telling us things or society or work or, like everything is kind of like we kind of pocket all of those negative notions into like a little pouch, and we're like, you open up your closet doors and you're like, oh, pouch is open. Let me throw all the insecurities are going to come right in, and I can't wear that, and I can't do this, and we start having like limiting beliefs about what's possible for ourselves. And for years and years of doing this to ourselves, it can feel so impossible to even figure out what makes sense for you. And there's so many simple ways to do that, but it feels like right now why it's important to love the body you have right now, whether you're choosing to work on updating something because it's healthy for you or makes sense for you, and that's what you want. You deserve to feel good now. You deserve to love your body now. And a lot of times we're putting our wardrobe on our bodies, thinking our bodies might be a different frame set than that it actually is because of our own personal like dysmorphia in the mirror.
Yes.
And we're making the wrong decisions for ourselves. So now we're putting on things on our body that are either enhancing the insecurities. So like either making if you're concerned about feeling, wider, and you want to hide the area you don't love, we tend to put on the bigger pieces, the ones that have the flaps in the front to distract you, like the cardigan that has the drape in the front. Everyone loves that, and you cover your whole body in it and no one has to see anything, but it's actually working against you. So when you put that on because you think that's going to make you feel better, and then you look in the mirror, you're actually not feeling better. So it's almost it's easier to do that than to like find the piece and go outside of your comfort zone and boundary to find the item that does work with the current frame you have, flatter it in a way that when you look in the mirror, you are like, yes, girl. And like that is so hard for us. But when you do that, you see how amazing you already are right now, and you deserve to feel good right now. So we have to start moving towards that. It's kind of my wish for women to start really like exploring new ways to express themselves so that when they see themselves in the mirror, it's helping them feel better, and at the same time it's helping and however they're styling themselves is in a way that feels like them. It's expressed however they want to express themselves.
I love that. I just adore what you just said. And like we often think about hiding parts of ourselves so that we don't focus on those things. And I never thought about it looking at it from a different perspective, and that you need to find what works for you instead of just hiding things, and it's more about embracing those things and styling them so that you can feel good about those things. I love that. What would you say to someone who thinks that they can't pull off a certain style?
Well, and that's very, very common because we see so many people, and this is like the limiting beliefs. We see so many, see someone walking around the street and you're like, oh, that skirt is so cute. I could never do that, and you're instantly telling yourself you can't. And it's like, I have actually one of the sections in one of my chapters is literally titled, Yes, You Can. And I mean this in the sense that if you see anything that excites you, that sparks excitement in you, our instantaneous thing is, oh, that wouldn't work for me. Or someone said, I can't wear that color. Oh, she's so confident. I don't feel that way. And so we just stop ourselves. But now I want you to think, well, why not? Just try it. Because most of the time we just don't even try it to see. And especially when I take, not so much as anymore, but when I was more in stores taking clients shopping, weekly, same client weekly, but like seeing clients weekly and taking them shopping, I see so much more possibility in what's out there, and I'll pull it like, a full look, and I'm like, this is gonna be so great on you, and they're like, I never would have thought to pull that. And that happens so often because we don't see what's truly possible because we've never even allowed ourselves to explore it. So I would even challenge all the listeners out there to, next time you go shopping, like give yourself 2 hours. You do not have to buy a thing, but just go into whatever your favorite store is, whatever the price point is, and pull everything off the rack that just is exciting to you, and without letting yourself say, oh, that won't work, or, oh, I don't know if this would work on me, or someone told me I can't wear this color. Like stop those, like catch yourself as you're saying that. So it's a practice in mind focus, and then And then go just try on the items. And here's the thing. Some may not work. But that's okay. But some that you would never even imagine would work, do work. And all of a sudden, all these like possibilities start opening up for you energetically when you realize like what you didn't think was possible is actually possible. And now like what else can you try? So it's really about like breaking that first brick wall down for yourself, and then all of a sudden opening up this incredible, I'm getting chills thinking about it, that incredible gateway into, you know, what's truly possible, which is anything can work. And based on our body types, our coloration, there's definitely a science to it. So like, you know, based on a body type, you know, where a waistline might look more flattering on one person might be a little bit different on the other. It could be like a little bit lower, a little bit higher. So there's little tiny tweaks like that will be very individualistic. But for the most part, like, we just have to break through this, like, I can't try that barrier, and just start exploring our creativity again, exploring what electrifies us, because that is a way for us to really break through this past self view and start allowing ourselves to come into this new openness of possibility.
I love that fashion can trickle into other aspects of our life. Like you said, you don't realize that the energy that you can get from fashion can empower you in other areas of your life. Just like when you think about putting on like that power suit and going into that power position, I think that fashion has such an energy, and it can translate to so many good things for us. So you wrote a book
called
really
does.
You Are Your Style. Please tell me what it's all about.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Well, thank you. I'm so excited about this book. I've been working on it for 3 years, and it's been a journey in just like, because I started writing the book before I even found out I was pregnant. So and that changes your body and your mindset in so many things, that like I wrote the book and then I threw it out, and then I rewrote the book, and then I couldn't look at it, and then couldn't look at it after my baby was born. I couldn't even look at it and touch it for 9 months. But so much internal growth happened for me that it brought more grace and love and heart into the book, and more magic to the book. And what this book is about is really, it's a journey for women to take. So it's a mindset shift that I want women to see for themselves, just like we've been talking about, the limiting self-beliefs, like the things that are stopping us from even taking that step forward in our own style. And, you know, for so many women, and for so many different reasons, we lose ourselves as time carries on. We lose a sense of who we are as we mature, as our bodies change, as life changes, especially in this past year and a half, where so much has changed, and there's a lot of loss, and there's a lot of deep sadness, and there's a lot of growth, and there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of everything. And, you know, that what happens as we evolve that way and evolve through it is that we tend to forget to evolve our style with it. So what happens is we end up getting to this, like, we've evolved, but then you open up your closet doors and you're still holding on to this old ideal or an old memory in a way that affects you negatively, or an old insecurity, or it reminds you of new insecurities. You know, if your body has changed in a way that you were not used to, and that, as women, that causes so much trauma for us. So this book really forces you in a positive way to, you know, face that kind of trauma, pick through it, identify what it is, and how it relates to how we've been getting dressed and how we've been expressing ourselves, and helping you move through that space into, you know, how do you let go of the things that we've been holding on to? How do we approach ourselves and our clothes and our body with self-love, and our style as a tool of self-love, and see getting dressed not as a materialistic version of like, oh, fashion, and instead see getting dressed as a tool to bring yourself to a conscious state that can enhance your whole life across the board. So, the first part of the book really takes you into that deep dive and then leads you into style tools. And the tools are designed and written in a way that they're to teach you the science of the style that you can use to try to see if that helps, or use in a way that makes sense for you. So it is not like, oh, you need to do this, you have to do this, you need it to do this way. It's like, here are all these incredible ways for you to expand your awareness with your own style, with your body, with fit, with color, with expression, with accessorizing, all the different things you can do to help you get dressed every day, because that kind of leads you into the next part of the book. But like the last part really teaches you getting dressed is a vital part of our day, right? And you have to get dressed. And when we choose to get dressed in a way that feels good for ourselves, we now start changing the world around us. We start changing our own world. We start changing the energy we bring to our work. We start changing the energy we bring to the world as a whole. And especially like right now, I've been getting a lot involved into like activism and things that I want to see a better world. And I can't show up as my best me when I don't feel good in my body and in what I'm wearing. And so getting dressed becomes this vital part to how you release yourself of this old sense of what the world is and step into a whole world that you get to create. And I teach you how to create that in the last part of the book. So it's this really beautiful journey. And I call it a journey. It's it's a wave through it all. So you get the style tools, but you also get the mindset shift and the consciousness update. Like this is definitely like there's spirituality involved and a little bit not in a woo-woo way, unless that's what you look at it like. But I really see a deep connection between our style and getting dressed to how we connect to ourselves on the inside. And I think when you make that true connection, no matter what your body is, where you are in your life, how you're doing in your life, what you're doing in your life, you connect back to that heart center space, and all of those like insecurities and pains kind of wipe away because you become free. And you free yourself of all of it, all of the societal stuff, and you get to just be you.
So what I was going to say in response to your answer about the book was that we don't often realize that fashion can be a part of practicing self-care and self-compassion, because sometimes, like you were saying, we hold on to all of these things in our closet, such as jeans that fit 5 sizes ago, and that can do more harm than it does good. So I wanted to mention that I just love that your book includes artistic images of women that are all shapes and sizes, because you wanted to showcase diversity, and because all your stories in the book really dive into the truth about what so many women experience when it comes to dressing their bodies, things like insecurity. Why is it so important to share these stories?
Mm-hmm. Well, I just think, it comes from like, even me experiencing it myself, that we're not alone, but it feels so lonely. It feels like I'm the only one feeling this. And, I know other people are insecure too, but mine's, it's really, it can feel really, really lonesome, especially when you are dealing with your own personal emotions in front of your closet. Like our closets are I think, our most intimate spaces, because what's inside our closets is every story and experience and insecurity and memory trapped in a in your closet, and you open up the door and all of a sudden it's like, whoosh, remember me, the pants that don't fit, but you still hold on to them, or that, like the item, like that really, there's even like things like that really expensive sequin blouse you bought because you were so sure you're going to wear it, but you still haven't worn it, and you feel guilty because you spent the money on it, but you're still not wearing it. Or like there's all these things that just like come up for us, and it's crazy what we then we go get dressed. So imagine opening up the closet doors, and you're just flooded with all these negative feelings. And then you're going to go inform yourself on getting dressed. And it's already coloring how you get dressed in a way that's negative. And I think all women have some level of experience with this, and, because our clothing is intimate for ourselves. It's on our body, or it's on our person, it's,
Yeah.
and also it's the choices we've made. So now you're judging choices and partners you've dated because of that bad memory on a date, or you have and we hold on to it so tightly.
I love that. I love that. What is style empowerment?
Style empowerment is a term that I created that really embodies everything that I do, which is the idea that style can be the creation, a creation point for your empowerment and for yourself and how you empower others in the world. So, when you are style empowered, you are not only wearing a style that if truly feels like you, flatters you in a way that when you see in the mirror, you are loving it, and expresses you out in the world energetically as the powerful being that you are. You take that energy into any situation. You walk in a room and people want to know who you are. That is style empowerment. So you can take your wardrobe and create that style empowerment every single day when you get dressed.
Yes, I love that. So you describe finding your style as if it's a journey, and obviously we need your book for figuring out these next steps. But what is one suggestion for starting our journey towards becoming empowered to discover our own style?
Oh, that's great. What would be the first step? I would say it's to really start to listen to your inner chatter about how you're getting dressed, when you're getting dressed, when you look at your body, when you catch yourself in the mirror. I think that that's a really big part of it because, I've so many times have styled amazing women, and you could buy a whole new wardrobe for somebody and they could put all the clothes and all the fabulous pieces on, but ultimately they're not feeling themselves yet still. And the wardrobe can help bring it out, but I don't think that a whole new wardrobe changes somebody tomorrow. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm a new lady or a new winner. It's none of that. It's going to be, you starting to identify what are the things that come up for you while you're trying to get dressed, and start to really notice them, because feelings are not facts. Feelings are not, those aren't real. Those voices are telling us we can't do something when we have the power to do it. So I want people to start really identifying that for themselves.
So, final questions here. So I really think that it's important to mention that your approach to fashion is very accessible, because you believe that you can be stylish without having to purchase all designer clothes. What's more important than the label?
Oh, feeling good in whatever it is.
I love
Way
that.
more important. Yeah, I really, it's funny because even in my book, there's not really, I think there's one time that I mention if you're going to buy one new thing. But other than that, it is not a book about shopping or buying anything new. It's really more about self-discovery.
I love that. And how can we dress for our best life?
I think it starts with, choosing to dress in a way that really makes you feel good, and being open to exploring that and redefining it. Because I think that, in that question's simplest form, tomorrow, again, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and everything's going to be different, because it's your personal self-growth is daily practice and daily trying and it not working, but then choosing to try it again. And I think that it's this, it's choosing, it's the choice. It's choosing to get dressed every day, whether you nail it or not, all good. But as long as you're choosing to do that for you, in order to feel good. So especially when you look in the mirror, you see how incredible you already are. That's the piece.
I love that. And lastly, please tell us where we can buy your book and where we can find you online.
Yes, well, you can go to youarethestylebook.com, and you can start buying. It's out. It's here. It's arrived, which is so surreal because it's been 3 years in the making. And you can find me at lauriebstyle.com and on Instagram at lauriebstyle. And if you're interested in trying out some creative ways of getting dressed, I actually have a free 7-day style program called 7 Days, 7 Ways, where every day you get a different style prompt of a theme, and with a video on what that looks like and inspiration boards and also like style tips to help you get dressed. And it really is meant so that you get up and you have something to help prompt you to get dressed for 7 days straight and see how that really affects everything in your life. So it's a really fun program, so that you can also find on the link on my Instagram, and 7 Days, 7 Ways. It's really fun.
Amazing. I hope everyone gets a chance to check it out, as well as your book. Because I think it's so important. I just love your approach to fashion, because so often we think of fashion as being, only for thin people and, only accessible to certain types of bodies. And I love that you are changing that perspective and teaching us how we can not only create positivity in our lives and in the energy we bring into our lives, but also in our closets and how we express ourselves. So thank you so much for being here today. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once again, thanks for listening to today's episode. Make sure you follow us at Real Happy Daughter, and please share this with someone who needs a little more real in their life.